Greetings to all, as I return to my channel CryptoQ Media. Our nation's treasurer is working closely with Ripple on their new stablecoin, LUSD, and we couldn't be happier to share the news. Their anticipated delivery date is either late 2024 or early 2025. In today's video, I'll describe how long everything has been building up to this moment. They seem to be working closely with the New York DFS, at least to me. Their website showcases Ripple Markets, one of their virtual currency ventures. Our services also include regular custody and a trust company. What the hey, Ripple essentially expanded their regulatory licensing scope after acquiring Standard Custody and Trust Company. A regulatory license was all these people had. Although it isn't on this list, Ripple does have something important. Not included in this list is Stellar. The acronym XRP stands for Ripple and describes a digital asset. In comparison to all other assets, it is unique. No one else is doing it this way except them. And it is not who I am. This isn't a maxi remark, trust me. I am not a maxi, even though I own XRP. This makes sense to me. Having worked in this field for quite some time, I can say without a doubt that no other cryptocurrency organization can compare to Ripple's staff in terms of knowledge and experience. This makes sense to me. This is completely absurd. Did you happen to catch the part when she says that banks are coming? Recall that Ripple brought up the fact that there are massive banks whose names have not been revealed just yet. The pieces are starting to fit together, and it's all unfolding right in front of our eyes. Even when we visit their project, Gora remains highly popular in New York, as I indicated earlier. Our initiative Agora is aiming to attract private sector investors. The New York Federal Reserve Bank is on our side because the BIS has been quite clear that you must be working with one of these banks. You must have a master account. Instantaneous Gross Settlement (RTGS) is a system that the Bank of England and the Federal Reserve both have direct access to. Ripple also does. However, we will address that in a separate video. Even though New York has been a digital hub for Ripple since January 2017, the city has generally gone unnoticed. You can view the US roadmap to speedier payments on the Federal Reserve website. In addition to NACA, they introduce Ripple, a system that might facilitate and set up real-time payments. The partnership between NACA and Ripple dates back to 2014. However, that isn't entirely accurate. And thus far, it has remained unharmed. Finally, the New York Federal Reserve Bank CEDAR initiative aimed to improve and ease cross-border payments through the use of DLT. There is no doubt that Ripple was involved. The reason XRP has access to these exotic corridors when other currencies do not is because this collaborative study examined a cross-border, multi-currency use case including vehicle currencies swapping less typically traded currency combinations. Plus, if you all recall the April gathering where Nellie Lang and Lauren believed, a lot of topics were covered. Also, different payment processors and a plethora of more apparent interpretations will remain undetected. Upon hearing her mention Ripple, I couldn't help but question why the word Ripple couldn't be used instead. So long as you stick to your guns and insist there wasn't a Ripple, right? In fact, you couldn't be more incorrect. To compete in the $150 billion industry, Ripple just announced a US dollar stablecoin, and that panel list was on April 20th. It seems to me that she was referring to it. Okay, so it was April 4th. Then, 10 days later, Nellie reveals the shocking truth: a non-bank payment processor was involved. Incredible as it may seem, we can document this experience and be completely forthright about it. Assume I'm right. I realize that making the bold assertion that we will be 100% assume I'm right. Everything we require in terms of data is right here. Even though everyone stated it was speculation, everything we've discussed and covered turned out to be entirely factual. If you've been following along since the beginning, especially on my channel, you know this. The video will wrap off with a quick shot of Visa and BIS Ripple having a casual conversation about their future plans. After everything that has happened, it is critical that I listen to this again, regardless of whether I have played it previously. Right now, that makes perfect sense. Keep in mind that I do, in fact, occasionally say things like this. It is not coincidental that the XRP price has not gone absolutely crazy yet. The rationale behind this is that it is processing payments amounting to trillions of dollars. Because they cater to the needs of billionaires, they amass vast fortunes. That is, to a considerable degree, its crux. Once the new system is up and running and everyone is happy with it, that is. Does anyone else not understand the point? Our motto is utility first for good cause. Although it has not been released quite yet, XRP has a $1 trillion use case in the real world. You can understand why the price is where it is when you see highs like this. The fact that the price of XRP has remained mostly unchanged over the past decade is extremely optimistic, but many people fail to grasp this. Furthermore, you will be informed by the International Monetary Fund that the World Bank will also do this. Why having a stable income in the future is paramount. Having an asset with a reasonably consistent performance history over a decade is also important. At that point, the XRP price will have formed a foundation unlike any other. Just because you release a utility item into circulation doesn't imply its value will automatically decline. No amount greater than 43 cents, 1, 3, or any number along those lines will ever be seen in this asset because its value will be determined by its practicality and demand. Of course, I'll consider that. Let it play again, and then listen to it again. But this is really important. I would be eternally grateful if you could consider subscribing and giving my channel a thumbs up if you liked this video. Your support means the world to me.